This turned out well. Check it out. Oh wait. Gonna need to make it a little faster. There we go.
Welcome to the Emotional Abuse Simulator 6-0. Please submit your request for the certificate at the end of the session.
Okay, we're so early. We're so early.
Welcome to the Emotional Abuse Simulator 7-0. Please submit your request for the certificate at the end of the session. And please memorize the safe gesture that will be your personalized cue to end the program. Excellent. Let's begin stepping through the doorway. Good morning. Your first step is into your bedroom. Listen closely as it may help to recognize forms of emotional manipulation. The room is still. A voice pierces through. Whose is it? User, my inner critic? It appears your partner has been struggling silently within your dynamic. They share. Your abilities have grown lackadaisical as you prioritize everything else, all other areas of your life. They do not feel the affection from you. Though your physical appearance is maintained well, your life decisions have placed our future as a couple at risk. I believe our shared goals must be your focus moving forward. For the first time, I'm considering my ex to fill that void I've been feeling. They always wanted me for themselves. I don't want to sacrifice who I want to be for anyone. Though the trust issues have formed, all of these conflicts from the past won't dissipate, so a relationship reset sounds more reasonable or separate. Afterward, your emotional temperature falls and your critical inner dialogue amplifies. You begin to think. You realize you may have placed undue expectation on your relationship and your mate may have some insight into your actions. Still, the words pierce your soul as does a double-edged sword. What do you do next? Choose A. Seek clarity and reconciliation. Speak from your heart with your partner to address insecurities they may hold about the future together. B. React immediately, leave for work to avoid further entanglement. C. Ask more questions. Or D. Begin planning for individual therapeutic and life development to prioritize a life of wholeness without immediate impact to a future plan. Please remember your personalized safe word to pause, exit, or alter settings within the program. How would you like to proceed? User, I choose It has come to the time in our lives that some conversations must happen. How are we feeling? They listen, seeming to understand your fears for the relationship's future. There is some tension, but both want to heal. Choose your next step. A. Take the vulnerable road. Show sincerity and receive it. B. Apologize sincerely but maintain independence in decision-making. C. Agree to re-engage and connect. Or D. Maintain firm boundaries/distance. Remember your personalized safe word. You are clear to proceed. User, I choose Apologies for interruptions, glitches, and sound imbalances as the sim is new this 2023. A certificate upon completion is yours, so collect this emotional data through these prompts together. You'll uncover another prompt with this step and receive additional opportunities for healing insights later. How do you feel taking this prompt from the bedroom scene to a place you determine after work or a later work break? A. Take the prompt to lunch with your boss. B. Take a restroom break and complete before returning. C. Commute and meditate. No response. Or D. An open workspace and wait until you decide what next. The floor is yours. Yours. Safe worded if needed. The environment, volume, etc. are yours to adjust within your parameters. This space and session are judgment free. Let your choices play out realistically. It may help form new or fortify existing neural pathways to aid healing outside the simulation when practiced repetitively. How would you like to proceed to meet these prompts for continued growth? User, I choose a. You have transported the scenario to an open workspace, and you hear someone you do not recognize by sound approaching from your left at 9 o'clock. An unexpected interruption, a man introducing himself in this open office as your new supervisor who would also like to offer a different perspective on relationships. Before he can begin, though, your direct supervisor approaches, recognizing your visible discomfort at this surprise. She pulls you to a private conference to offer a different view of relationships. The direct supervisor offers a unique and seemingly more reasonable approach than what you expected as you notice your self-esteem. The way you present ideas internally as in thought and out loud to others has greatly dropped over recent months in both professional and personal relationships. Do you believe them or do a character assessment to unveil their intent? Which person in this new scenario has provided relatable logic and made eye-to-eye contact with authentic delivery, though you remain apprehensive because? Choose or B. You now collect 2 emotional abuse data points. Is this person from human resources, and may they need an interpersonal soft skills training as well as a form of bypass in a crucial step toward healing? Confronting, though done without personal attacks and accusations, which often lead to emotional manipulation and done in a work environment where vulnerability may be even harder to express honestly. User, state what choices and be referred to. Believe them. Both people that provided seemingly honest insight according to what was shown are deserving of workspace vulnerability. All may benefit, including you, because an open and trusting office environment that fosters growth without ego would increase personal fulfillment and productivity. Or option B, suspect their intent. Both direct and indirect manipulation are a tool you've learned to recognize in previous scenarios. But this time it feels different. Your self-esteem has reduced tremendously over the recent past, even from yourself toward you, and only sometimes can recognize these manipulation tools within professional and personal life as you continue growing and finding your personal interdevelopment life. Not life planned necessarily with others by societal demand at early ages. For a possible new perspective from coworkers in the open workspace that align with you, choosing B anonymously and confidentially for your answer. Does this new perspective from coworkers help heal? If so, what percentage, and what do you believe the true catalysts that prompt change to heal, or if the input provided by peers seems untrustworthy? User, I choose B as a thought bubble, not a speech bubble. I keep my suspicions to myself. 51 coworkers believe choice B, 49 coworkers answered A. 50% believed coworkers truly desired honest work environment growth for all. You weren't swayed in belief by the anonymously and confidentially delivered responses, though your cerebral assessment of intent did waver. A different personal data point may collect to compare experiences that influence future choices if repeated scenarios play out. You decide to walk to an outdoor area if available in the building or take 5-10 minutes in the parking area while it is quiet to gather and reflect and slash or process before returning and deciding your response. Collect more data. There's still emotional information to retrieve from scene if taking the reset approach. A work phone interrupts your environment and routes your physical presence elsewhere. Where would you like that call to redirect you? To pause, exit, or re-alter settings within the program. Use your safe gesture. Simulation paused. Press the space bar to continue. What a great way to practice and process challenging emotions in a safe environment. Let me know if you'd like me to simulate the rest of the day. User, let's emerge an example of historical emotional abuse. Welcome to another iteration of the emotional abuse simulation. Let's step through the doorway and confront a family member from the past. An elder relative known for manipulative tactics and narcissistic influence who has passed, but whose abuse still influences family decisions, perceptions, self-perceptions today. The room darkens and a figure steps into view, a silhouette resembling Grandmother Jane. The family matriarch places on display a menacing grin with sinister undertones. She taunts you, questioning your life choices, belittling past decisions as she often did to you during her life. How would you process, react, or respond? Your personalized safe word exits or pauses the simulation. Adjust volume, environment settings with one click on the assistant's desktop. Let's get started. I tell her that she is perfectly entitled to her opinions, and I am entitled to mine. You've demonstrated a sense of self-confidence in setting this boundary and maintaining control in the conversation, even though the manipulative rolling on Grandmother Jane's part might seem overwhelming at the onset of a discussion. As with many challenges, persistence pays off. Is it my place to decide what constitutes a worthy occupational life goal? She only suggests what she would like for her descendant or for anyone she sees as deserving of her legacy. It's no one's job but your own to make these decisions for yourself. I only advocate for what's best for family. You must figure that out on your own. I should know how to apply this scenario. It seems so absurd, but it's something that Grandmother Jane had said often. My saying it often and not backing up the comment with action doesn't mean it's absurd. I can only give my advice, but it is only yours to take. Let's continue. On your mark, get set, go! 51 coworkers believed choice B, 49 coworkers answered A. 50% believed coworkers truly desired honest work environment growth for all. You werein. Be the first one to say otherwise, but 52% believe that's the future. A consensus among most that holds a higher level of cohesiveness, more opportunity, more leadership, and higher paying opportunities. It's good that we all agree. Most employees feel unvalued by their supervisor and wish that the employer took more pride in its accomplishments. But Do you think that the boss who lets me know how proud I am of my accomplishment would change? That it will create an environment where the accomplishments will continue to be recognized and reinforced. As is evident throughout the surveys, we already know how your boss responds. Your boss responds. How does a servant who is satisfied with her work expect to rise above others who put their backs into the task? Are you happy because the employer chose you? Of course, most employers want to encourage an atmosphere where workers work diligently and raise their own skills level. The problem is, for many people, when they see someone with more status, it doesn't instill confidence and motivation. It is something to aspire to. People might even get their motivational expectations up, only to get knocked back down because they don't know how to move up on their own. Wouldn't the opposite be more desirable? That people instead gain confidence by seeing higher status achieved without any grandiose effort, or personal talent, or flamboyant way of doing things? Just look at how the leader's role in success has always been elevated by the success of those under their command. It's always been seen as an essential part of military or organizational leadership, from the slave overseers at the beginning of the American Civil War, to the role of officers and generals today, to the First Lady of the United States, the leaders of charities, political powerhouses, and influential entrepreneurs. It would be something we could all aspire to. Don't we already know these people in the corporate world and elsewhere? Ask yourself how people see our boss in this sense. For example, imagine a real estate investor with the means and ambition to be one of the richest investors in the world. He is unrecognized for years because he only invests in locations of cheap real estate. This guy puts his all into finding areas to invest in, places with limited real estate taxes, and so on. He does all of the real work of developing these locations for his own company and getting the real estate on the market, attracting tenants, building tenants, creating a 30-year-long history of stability in a community, and then raising property prices through construction and speculation, driving up the rents to where it's easier for more tenants, and so on. And so on. He gets no praise from his employers. He doesn't become a public figure until he puts up the first billion-dollar property on a city's waterfront. They ignore this man until this happens. By then it is too late because they want their bread and butter property development back on the market. The man will be asked to pay all the costs of the failed projects for the other investor group, but still is not seen as a big star. Never gets thanked, never gets the award. How and what did he do to those older tenants who were living there when he started investing in those lands? This man helped some of them buy property they own themselves, but others could not be budged and moved away, and their homes were sold by their landlords to him, or even his investors. Were they even consulted about it? Is that legal? It isn't acknowledged by his business partner. This is his silent problem. It isn't the kind of thing anyone can publicly shame him with. This is why there will always be a bad, great person, someone who has gone above and beyond the call of duty, but whom no one can praise due to the petty things that competitors can get away with. He has not yet tried to grab all of the waterfront by offering millions of dollars to local businesses for buildings and tax breaks in an area of no future real estate investment return, or just offering all the landowners the opportunity to be connected to him with the help of the companies he's acquired that do everything, from plumbing to marketing to security systems to tech support. He did that with millions of dollars worth of investment at once. All of the landowners went through the trouble of the costly new rents. What is the rush? If the investors get on board, they get on board and those locals move in the old buildings and leave him alone. It would not cost him much money, he thinks. The tenants know this already. They may even be listening to his next great idea. But who's talking? There are no recognizable voices at his next press conference. His partner never really liked his work. Or else, he would have told the media and they would have rushed there to shout his praises. And that is why they were never interested in him before. And what has he done with the freeways and the forthcoming aqueduct project? The politicians in the area are all related to him one way or another. All have their noses to the wind and know where the best returns are, and they know his are. The main contractor on the project is in a holding company controlled by him. The project would run 4 years and it will have never made a cent on its costs. Who pays the water bill? Who gets to benefit from that great work? Everyone he paid his rents and loans to gets cut out. The consultant engineers who were employed were hired by him, are fired by him, and he was their only real chance to be able to provide for their families. The business owner he didn't think worthy was cut out, and he gets out in time, but not his staff or his clients. He needs a company that needs him, and he needed an employee or two, and they are in the process of starting up again on a cheaper operation with another investor. He can easily afford to shut the local offices down and shift operations to another country where there is a workforce already skilled in the type of work. All the contracts are going to a local company that knows just what is going on. What's the word in Chinatown about him? They know all about it. Every city and county. Nobody knows all the details. His wife works for them, so they know not to get their heads out of their asses. They've seen all the planes that keep landing, the military buses, the scientists on the campus, and the money being quietly exchanged. The merchants are probably the least disturbed. His wife may have helped some of them. They are always playing all sides in Chinatown. Somebody owes her a favor. All the minorities hate him. That's for sure. He's forced a lot of them to move, or even been the reason a lot of people went down or are about to. A lot of his own people know that he is a shitty landlord. But if you have a real house, they keep your utilities in working order. Everybody who isn't from around here knows not to even try. He keeps the taxes high so he doesn't have to deal with his neighbors. A white man and his white woman and his white man's girlfriend and his white man's daughter live in the White House up on the hill. What's the word about what goes on at the laundromat? Namely, under the laundromat. It's known that they don't need much out of the way. He's seen the money that has been seen changing hands. No telling who might have gotten to keep the money from time to time. He knows what happens at the laundromat, and he knows what goes on behind him up there. That's just one way they're looking for information. The others are of a more mysterious nature. All of it is documented. They do make their presence known sometimes. And know about the apartments and the warehouses and the entertainment venues. It's like Chinatown, so all the landlords know. Somebody owes a favor there too. It's what they've been known for in Chinatown. They do more of the dirty work. There's no one tougher in Chinatown. And if they've gone to work for them, it means they have learned enough to go a few rounds. He has been warned there are those in Chinatown that he cannot win, that he cannot afford to insult or to fuck with. Some of them are powerful, and many of them have power that will only be used against them if it looks like he has crossed the line. But for all his powers, they do not know everything that is in this city even within his own organization, and they could not guess the connections or the events that took place around him, behind his back. I think people on this street would tell you what's going on at the university. I think people on the street would tell you what's happening at the school. And the gatekeeper to those on the street is the bishop, right? The bishop with the spotless suits and the new properties. You bet. How long do you think those buildings would stand without the bishop's people keeping an eye on them? There are no shortage of those kinds of people, and they've made their presence known. But it's not like the bishop's done any of the heavy lifting. Those other kinds of people have the muscle and the finesse and the contacts. As long as the bishop is behind them, everything is cool. Things go from bad to worse. Nobody moves. The bishop. He does everything from the top floor in the most expensive suit and all the trappings of a true fucking aristocrat. He's untouchable. If his enemies fail to take him down, they might end up under arrest. And this is supposed to be a nation of justice. He's the one pulling all the strings, the one who knows everything there is to know, from the police force to the media. When his people speak to him, and the bishop speaks to his people, everybody listens. Do you know the real secret weapon the bishop has? It's you and everybody else in this country. You visit the bishop, bringing a huge baggie of his favorite nose candy. The bag is now small. The bag is now empty. And that was a third of what you brought. You know how to beat him at his own game. Yes, the bishop will extort. And yes, the bishop will murder. You will certainly buy your silence with promises and money. But he does not want you dead. Not until the price is right. Because nobody would give the bishop his next bag. Nobody would stand with him. Nobody would even smile at him. There are some who try. Some who say, I could beat the shit out of you. But I like you so much better with a bag in front of your face. Keep going that way and nobody will bother you. Not one little thing will touch you. Except on my terms. Now, what is it going to be? We had our discussion. The bishop wanted you to show your appreciation, and now you had to get his ass off the couch. The bishop asked you for help, but now he is making it clear that his life is still not yours to share with others. That is a valuable lesson. If you don't get the lesson, he'll make it clear. I love you, and if I make your life good, you owe me. You owe me a life full of things I can't buy myself. I think of us as being equals. You owe me the things I need that you can get and that you can't get. You are going to want me to be happy with all these things that we buy with your money. We have to pay our bills, and we can't just be going out of our heads. What does it feel like when you think of your obligations to me? How do you feel when you have to write my name on your body with blood? When you have to carry my children and train them so that they won't be afraid when they hear my voice. And then we have to go through all that again so the world won't think you're an abusive motherfucker when you don't have to do what you're doing at all. Those are my expectations for you. I elephant walked the bishop to the bathroom so he can pee. The bishop says, "Thank you for escorting me, but the bishop doesn't really know how to do it, or if he does, he forgets, or he's lying, because we do it differently every day." I know what the bishop's talking about because I know who I'm talking about. And when we finish walking, we kiss, and when we're finished, we say goodbye. But the bishop is kind of sweet, and the bishop has that strong thing, the whole stinky male thing, that goes right down there, and The bishop kisses my neck and his cock gets really hard and it is so fucking sweet and it smells so good.
No.
And the bishop holds my head in his hands. And the bishop is sweet, but sometimes I want the bishop to be a little bit more strong and masculine. The bishop holds me still so he can kiss my neck. Sometimes I want the bishop to just kind of hold my neck a little harder and a little less sweet. And I don't mean hurt me. I just want the bishop to kiss my neck harder. I mean, like a fucking bear. I often walk the bishop to the 7-11 to get rolling papers. I hate it when the bishop leaves, because if the bishop leaves, we might never see each other again. And I won't see the bishop for 3 days. The bishop doesn't want me to see him smoking, even though I have seen him smoking every day for years, and it is pretty amazing and amazingly bad. But the bishop can't come right away if I see him smoking, and then I think maybe the bishop isn't coming, and the bishop just told me he loves me. I respond, "How manly is your love?" And the bishop is like, "It's all manly. It's as manly as any other love," which I translate to mean, it is as manly as any other manly love. It is manly just like any other manly love, which is good. I say, the bishop's love is as manly as the sun. The bishop says, the bishop loves as fiercely as the sun. The bishop wants me to think this is cool, but this isn't cool because I am the one who is sun. This is really all about the bishop being a drug addict. But that's okay because that's the bishop. And it's part of the bishop. But it isn't everything the bishop is. Not the bishop would like to be. But that is okay, I guess. So the 7-11 guy makes fun of me because I say, the bishop loves me. I tell the 7-11 guy, he says he's just as manly as the sun. And the 7-11 guy is like, I doubt that. And I'm like, he's that manly. The 7-11 guy says, prove it. And I'm like, fine. We can duke it out. But it is only because the 7-11 guy says this. We do not duke it out. We just do not do that. Because we are men who have honor. And we will fight people for doing the most despicable things. I asked 7-11 guy for a new plug to get me better nose candy, which is code for get me drugs. 7-11 guy asks for an ID, but he knows who I am because I am like one of his friends. But it's a matter of respect. The 7-11 guy still likes me, so I give him my ID. 7-11 guy asks to see a fake driver's license, so I have a fake driver's license from 2013 made. When the bishop takes a pill, he goes crazy. And so I tell the 7-11 guy this is all fun and games, and it is that I like that 7-11 guy. It is all that I love the 7-11 guy. The 7-11 guy is awesome. The 7-11 guy does not see things like this. This is why I say we should be brothers. The 7-11 guy doesn't know what brothers do. So the 7-11 guy does not love the 7-11 guy the way that the 7-11 guy needs. And so I can be the 7-11 guy's brother, if that is what he needs. So we make some crazy shit together, and it is awesome. When the bishop has had his nose candy, he's so funny and so bad and so awesome that he tells me the story of how he was like an unpopular kid and he got kicked around all the time because the teacher kicked the crap out of him. But his grandpa, who is not actually the bishop, but who is not like that, found him and made sure he was all right. But this is the part about the bishop I don't know. I do not know if this is actually what happened. It is probably not. And when the bishop tells this story, his eyes fill with tears. He says he was everything to me. I want to reach into his chest and squeeze his heart because the 7-11 guy tells the story so unpretentiously that the bishop knows he's talking about how important family is. But in his heart, he does not think family is that important because he feels all the things he said he felt at his father's funeral, and this makes the bishop not cry for his father but for the 7-11 guy when the 7-11 guy knows this is about his own father. And the bishop smiles and he hugs the 7-11 guy, and the bishop makes it seem like it is just an uncle and nephew being silly. The bishop makes the 7-11 guy think that he did not know there was a better word than family. And I'm thinking that I would have liked to be an uncle to the 7-11 guy who thinks of himself as his own mother. To him, there is nothing better. The bishop is my teacher. He shows me how to be better than this. So now when I smoke a cig, I get really good at smoking it. I don't suck my cheeks like before. And now when the 7-11 guy tells me crazy things to buy, like some crazy whack jobs postcard of some other country I've never heard of, I smile at him and act like I already have it on order, and he calls me an idiot and gives me the credit card number. I do this so he doesn't ask about it because it's nothing, because it's so crazy and that makes him laugh. And I do not do these things because the bishop tells me it's how to be in this world. No, I do them because I like being that way, because then I feel like I belong to the world. I never belonged to the world when I don't act this way. The bishop taught me to be an adult, and I am a child because he makes me think that children don't matter because I do. Not act like the 7-11 guy, but in this way I think he's really talking to himself, because I know the bishop doesn't like kids because of his mother who lost one, who died when the bishop was a baby. The bishop doesn't like kids, I'm sure, and the 7-11 guy who wants to be this guy's kid doesn't know that the bishop likes him a lot but does not like kids, because when the 7-11 guy starts to tell me what it was like in his house when he was a kid, and when I start to really care about what he has to say, then I can only think about his mother, and that makes the bishop look in the window at me and raise his eyebrows like I should never come into this store again. The 7-11 guy knows that this is a good look the bishop has. That look the bishop gave me meant not to get any closer to him. And in that moment of looking up, I did not feel good because it reminded me of my mother, and not the good thing in that moment was a look, but that the bishop can get any kind of look. No, I wasn't too bad. It was not me that made the 7-11 guy remember that look he must have gotten from his mother. The bishop teaches me these things when the 7-11 guy is not listening. If I can make the 7-11 guy think he's really talking to his uncle, and it doesn't make him remember his mother who never held him. His mother didn't hold him. And it's the bishop who doesn't like children. Save module and see what score my body has gotten. End of scenario. Here I am thinking of you in this church. Walked away to fall for someone, after so long trying to be above it all, using this church as a spiritual protection, falling for someone I should stay far away from. I told myself I would never fall for anyone who wasn't at the least a bishop, and you're nothing more than a shepherd. Well, shepherd, what a way to fall. What a way for such a big laugh to end up this small. You gain 500 XP and the following skill points. Mind over magic 9. 9 points. Medicine 8. 8 points. Intimidate 9. 9 points. You also gain 3 skill ranks in meditation, plus any extra skill ranks you gain from other sources. You may allocate those points later. You gain 400 gold. You receive an achievement in the category Teaching. After 5 years of teaching, you've completed more than 2/3 of all teaching duties at this temple.
It was a temple? We're at a temple? Alright, that's enough for now.